Come with Grandma. Come in.
There are so many different areas of nursing that you can go into. I mean, if you get burned out in one area or you find it's just not what you need to do, you can just go to another, like critical care or emergency room or case management, hospice.
How do you feel today?
I like hospice though because I feel it's a privilege to help people pass away in comfort and to help the families deal with the stress.
Usually you're trying to assess them, figure out where they are, if things are going well, if not, if they've turned that corner and they've entered the dying process, and if they are, we want to make sure that they're comfortable and that all of their symptoms are controlled.
We coordinate the care for a specific set of patients. In our case, it's about 12 to 15 patients. And we see the patients depending on their needs. The frequency could be daily or it could be 1, 2 to 3 times a week.
This job is probably one of the most passionate and compassionate. I mean, it takes an extraordinary person to be out there in the field and deal with what our nurses deal with on a day-to-day basis.
I think part of the answer is I lost somebody a few years ago, back in the 80s when hospice wasn't really prevalent. And we tried caring for him at home, and it got to the point where we couldn't, so he actually died alone in the hospital. And that stayed with me. I think it's important that they can stay at home with the family for as long as possible or pass away at home in the comfort, their surroundings that they're comfortable with and used to with their family at their side. And just being able to help do that, it's kind of what keeps me going.
I had a sister that we put on hospice. So I've been able to see hospice from both sides, and it really gives you a little bit different perspective. And that was when I really decided that was what I wanted to do.
I started in rehab and worked for a smaller rehabilitation center and had an opportunity to work with a terminally ill 19-year-old at the time. And this was 20 years ago. And to this day, I still keep in touch with their family on the anniversary of his death. And he's profoundly impacted me.
I think a lot of times I think about the patients that we take care of. And even though sometimes I'm not the one out there making the visits, I communicate a lot with my nurses and I know what's going on with those patients. And I think if you take time to really put yourself in their shoes and their family's shoes and you try to experience maybe a fourth of what they may be going through or what they're feeling.
It was after a lot of questions in my own life, I had finally realized that I could do what I wanted to do. I could go and take care of the patients on my own terms, and Lion Hospice provided me with an opportunity that I could do that and take care of patients, and I get to use what I'm good at, which is patient communication, patient interaction.
One of my patients now, we admitted him, he's been on hospice now for about a week, and he has a cancer diagnosis. He was writhing in the bed, just in lots and lots of pain, wanted to go back to the hospital, and gave him a bunch of medicine. And when I went back on Wednesday, he's sitting up in bed smiling. And I walk in and he said, "You're a miracle worker." And I mean, that really does your heart good to know that you can really make a difference. And he said, "I'm so glad I didn't go back to the hospital." So it's just experiences like that. When you can go into someone's home and do something like that, it really makes you feel good.
I just think sometimes that people that look in on hospice nurses, and it is a very, very prestigious profession, what we do, but sometimes the thing that people need to remember is it's the patients that are the courageous ones. I think sometimes we need to thank them for letting us go on their journey with them. If I could do something in my 8 hours that day to maybe make a difference in their life, then I can actually drive away from work knowing that I made, maybe a small difference in their life.
I believe very strongly that the reason that I am here is to take care of other people. And I don't mean just in providing them with food or something. I mean to be able to assess the situation and provide them with what they need.
These are end-of-life issues, and that's our goal. That's our goal, that we can help our patients, die with dignity and die pain-free as much as we can get them.